I never heard him so loud, Mom.
Oh, come around more often. You'll hear him.
Why didn't you ever write me about this, Mom?
How could I do it for you? You haven't had an address for 3 months.
Well, you know I was on the move. But you know I thought of you all the time. You know that, don't you, pal?
I know, dear. I know. But he likes to have a letter just to know that there's still a possibility for better things.
He isn't like this all the time, is he?
It's when you come home. He's always the worst.
When I come home?
When you write you're coming, he's all smiles and talks about the future, and he's just wonderful. And then the closer you seem to come, the more shaky he gets. And then, by the time you get there, he's arguing, and he seems angry at you. I think it's just that maybe he can't bring himself to open up to you. Why are you so hateful to each other? Why is that?
I'm not hateful, Mom.
But you no sooner come in the door than you're fighting.
I don't know why. I mean to change. I'm trying, Mom. You understand?
Are you home to stay now?
I don't know. I want to look around. See what's doing.
If you can't look all your life, can you?
I can't take home, Mom. I can't hold some kind of life.
If a man is not a bird to come and go with the springtime.
Your hair, Mom, it's gotten so gray.
It's been gray since you were in high school. I just stopped dyeing it, that's all.
Well, keep dyeing it. Again, will you? I don't want my pal looking old.
You're such a boy. You think you can go away for a year, and you gotta get it in your head now that one day you'll knock on this door and there'll be strange people here. What about your father?
Well, yeah, I mean him too.
He admires Pop.
Biff, dear, if you don't have any feeling for him, then you can't have any feeling for me. No, you can't just come to see me, because I love him. He's the dearest man in the world to me, and I won't have anyone making him feel unwanted, low, and blue. You gotta make up your mind now, darling. There's no leeway anymore. Either he's your father and you pay him that respect, or else you're not to come here anymore. I know he's not easy to get along with. Nobody knows that better than me, but...
Hey, Biffo!
What the hell is the matter with him?
Hey.
Don't go near him.
Stop making excuses for him. He's always wiped the floor with you. Never once has he shown an ounce of respect for you.
He's always had respect for
And what the hell do you know about it?
Just don't call him crazy.
He's got no character. Charlie wouldn't do this. Not in his own house. Spewing out that vomit from his mind.
Charlie never had to cope with what he's got.
People are worse than Willie Loman. Believe me, I've seen it.
Then make Charlie your father. Biff, you can't do that, can you? I don't say he's a great man. Willie Loman never made a lot of money. His name was never placed in the paper. He's not the finest character that ever lived, but he's a human being, and a terrible thing is happening to him. So attention must be paid. He's not to be allowed to fall into his grave like an old dog. Attention must be finally paid to such a person. You call him crazy.
I didn't mean...
No, a lot of people think he lost his balance, but you don't have to be very smart to know what his trouble is. The man is exhausted.
Sure.
A small man can be just exhausted as a great man. He works for a company for 36 years this March, opens up unheard of territories for their trademark, and now in his old age, they take his salary away.
I didn't know that, Mom.
You never asked me, my dear. Now that you get your spending money someplace else, you don't have trouble to mine with him.
But I gave you money last...
Christmas time, $50 to fix the hot water. It cost $97.50. For 5 weeks, he's been on straight commission, like a beginner, an unknown.
Those ungrateful bastards.
Are they any worse than his sons? Huh? Are they any worse than his sons? When he brought them business, when he was young, they were glad to see him. But now his old friends, the old buyers that loved him so and always found some order to hand him in a pinch, they're all dead or retired. He used to be able to make 6, 7 calls a day in Boston. Now he takes his valises out of the car and puts them back and takes them out again, and he's exhausted. He's exhausted. Instead of walking, he talks now. He drives 700 miles, and when he gets back, there's no one knows him anymore. No one welcomes him, and what goes through a man's mind? Driving 700 miles home, through a man's mind, without having earned a cent? Why shouldn't he talk to himself? Why? When he has to go to Charlie and borrow $50 a week and pretend to me that it's his pay. How long can that go on? How long? You see, what I'm sitting here and waiting for, what am I waiting for? And you tell me He has no character. The man who never worked a day, but for your benefit. When does he get the medal for that? Is this a reward to turn around at age 63 and find his sons, who he loved better than his life, want a philandering bum?
Mom!
That's all you are, my baby. And you! What happened to the love you had for him? You were such pals. How you used to talk to him on the phone every day and night. How lonely he was till he came home to see you.
Right, Mom. I'll live in my room. I'll get a job and I'll stay away from him.
No, Biff. You can't stay here and fight all the time.
He threw me out of the house. Do you remember that?
Why did he do that? I never knew why.
Because I know he's a fake and he doesn't like anybody around him.
Why a fake? In that way? What do you mean?
Just don't lay it all on my feet. It's between me and him, and that's all I have to say. I'll pitch in from now on. I'll give him half of my paycheck. He'll be all right. I'm going to bed.
You won't be all right.
I hate this city. What else do you want from me? What do you mean he won't be all right?
What's the matter, Mom?
He's dying, Biff.
Mom, I know you're not gonna like this, but I'm not going to Dad's room.
Boy, hush your mouth. I didn't raise you to be like this. I don't want to hear that talk in the morning. You sitting here all grown and talking about not going to your own daddy's funeral?
Mama, listen.
I don't want to hear it, Corey. You just get that thought out of your head.
I can't be dragging around Papa all the time. I gotta say no for once in my life.
Don't nobody have to listen to nothing like that. I know you and your daddy ain't seen eye to eye, but I ain't gotta listen to that kind of talk in the morning. Whatever was between you and your daddy, the time has come to put it aside. I just take it and set it over there on the shelf and forget about it. Disrespecting your daddy ain't gonna make you a man, Corey. You gotta find a way to come to that on your own. Not going to your daddy's funeral ain't gonna make you a man.
All the time I was growing up, it was like an insect digging into your flesh. I couldn't tell which one was you and which one was him. Everywhere I looked, it was like Troy Maxon staring back at me. Under the bed, in the closet, everywhere I went, and I'm sick of it.
You're just like him, Corey.
Don't say that.
You're Troy Maxon all over again.
I don't want to be Troy Maxon. I want to be me.
You can't be nobody but who you are, Corey. That shadow wasn't nothing but you grown into yourself. You either gotta grow into it or cut it down to fit you. That's all you got to measure yourself against the world out there. Your daddy wanted you to be everything he wasn't. And it was. And at the same time, he tried to make you everything that he was. I don't know if he was right or wrong, but I do know he was meant to do more good than he was meant to do harm. He wasn't always right. Sometimes he touched he bruised. And sometimes when he took me in his arms he cut. When I first met your daddy, I thought, here's a man I can lay down with and make a baby. That's the first thing I thought when I seen him. I was 30 years old and I'd seen my share of men. But when he walked up to me and I said, I can dance a wall that'll make you dizzy, I thought, Rosalie, here's a man that you can open up to yourself and be filled to bursting. Here's a man that can fill all the empty spaces you've been tipping all around the edges of. All of them empty spaces with being somebody's mother. I married your daddy and settled down to cooking the supper and keeping the sheets on the bed. When your daddy walked through the house, he was so big he filled it up. That was my first mistake, not to make him leave some room for me. For my part in the matter, but at the same time I wanted that. I wanted a house that I could sing in, and that's what your daddy gave me. I didn't know to keep up his strength, I had to give him a little piece of mine. I did that. I took his own life as mine and mixed up the pieces so that you could hardly tell which was which anymore. It was my choice. It was my life and I didn't have to live it like that. But that's what life offered me in the way of being a woman, and I took it. I grabbed hold of it with both of my hands. By the time Raynell came to the house, me and your laddie had done lost touch with one another. I didn't want to make my blessings off of anybody's misfortune. But I took on to Raynell like she was all them babies I had wanted and never had.
Mom, I know you're not gonna like this, but I ain't going to Dad's funeral. Mom, I know you're not gonna like this.